Hello everyone and welcome back to another GTA discussion, where today we'll be discussing GTA 6 and the prospect of running these visuals under the industry standard of 60 frames per second. It's actually a topic that I see quite a lot from Discord to Reddit, and it does intrigue me. I do have a good idea as to what the final product is going to end up doing, but I'll get to that eventually. First of all, damn, these graphics, can they actually get better than this? Can we actually improve from this point on? Besides ray tracing, which will eventually optimize to the point where we won't need monster graphics cards anymore, the poly count, the lighting, the reflections, physics, animation, it's reached its peak. There's not really anything that can be faulted at this point, except maybe how often per second these visuals are displayed on the screen. Now at this point, I think it's very important to point out the fact that on release, the very first version of every game that Rockstar have ever released played at 30 frames a second, which seems to have always been the target for Rockstar, regardless of the hardware or whatever. The older games from GTA 3 to San Andreas to Canis Canem Edit mostly relied on the games running at such a frame rate, else they would encounter issues with logic and physics. But that's mainly a bygone era at this point. It's just a quirk of games from years past. GTA 4 ran at a native 30 FPS and can only really achieve 60 FPS if you play it on either a PC or an Xbox One X with backward compatibility. And considering how poorly the game runs on a modern Windows PC, the Xbox One X is probably the definitive way to play the game now, since the PC has some minor issues like the final mission having a softlock issue, among quite an extensive list of things that we still have to suffer with today should we want to play GTA 4 on PC. I have no idea how in-depth Rockstar Games have delved into the game engine or fixed any issues, if any, but I personally ran into some very strange anomalies in the form of post-mission static cameras, if there's even a better way to describe them. It's the camera that activates whenever you arrive at a location for a mission, like, "Alright, thanks for the ride, CJ!" You know, those cameras. Every GTA game has them pretty much. Whenever I arrive somewhere, the camera for some reason just wants to zoom in, and once it reaches max zoom, the game slows down to a grinding 1 FPS halt. Yeah, it's weird. I have no idea what's going on. GTA 5 too also initially ran at 30 FPS even on the re-releases. Only until a native port to PS5 and Xbox One X did GTA 5 finally get a proper 60 FPS mode, but thankfully at that time the Rage engine didn't really rely on a frame rate for the likes of logic and physics, so it's cool. Now Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are an interesting case. Recently Red Dead Redemption 1 got a re-release on all of the modern consoles, even the Nintendo Switch, and although the game natively runs at 30 FPS on everything but the PC and the PlayStation 5, with a hacked Switch that's been overclocked and given the game a few mods, you can force it to run at a solid 60 FPS, making it a very strong contender for the best way to play the game. Not that I'd recommend trying, because you'd probably end up frying the hardware over a long period of time, but it's an interesting anecdote.
Again, thanks to the amazing homebrew community on the Nintendo Switch, and with the help of some really useful and important overclocking tools and various other homebrew tools, it is possible to run Red Dead Redemption on the Nintendo Switch at 60 frames per second. Some people in the community were a little disappointed to see that it had a locked 30 FPS frame cap. Disclaimer here, I'm not responsible if you push your Nintendo Switch beyond the limit and destroy your Switch.
Red Dead Redemption 2 once again runs at 30 frames a second, and besides the PC, we still don't have a 60 FPS build of the game to play on a console, which sucks, especially considering that the PS5 and the Series X will very happily play the game, probably only using like 1% of their true power, Ultra Instinct Shaggy style. So it's easy to run to conclusions here. It's very likely that Rockstar will target 30 FPS once again for GTA 6, just for the sake of maintaining consistent performance. However, times have changed now. As of late, people have really started to notice the difference between 30 and 60 FPS and higher. Hell, even Nintendo, which used to be the filthy casuals console of choice for gaming, are now expanding their horizons for 60 and even 120 FPS. Most TVs don't even have an option to display that fast. At this point, you're in the realm of budget PC monitors. Competitive gaming has seen the rise of higher refresh rates. For me personally, I actually get a bit motion sick if I'm stuck looking at a 30 FPS motion for too long, in conjunction with a shallow field of view. What I'm trying to say is it's catching on. Despite this, however, and knowing Rockstar, this is what I hypothesize. 30 FPS locked, nothing you can do. I think Rockstar are going to be pushing the consoles beyond their limit, just like they did with GTA 5 on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. When that game released, the PS4 and the Xbox One original were just months away at release. They launched the game on already outdated hardware, and they're going to be doing the exact same thing come GTA 6 next year. By that time, there's no telling what's going to happen with the console market, and I think Rockstar are probably just waiting for the PlayStation 6, if there is even going to be one, to come out, just to re-release the game again and offer more features, and charge the same $100 to buy the game twice. And yes, I'm aware that the PS5 Pro exists, and maybe they might be able to stretch 60 FPS on that, but I'm really not sure. What might happen is that Rockstar might have numerous modes for playing the game. Let's say a 4K 30 FPS with or without ray tracing, and then I'm also thinking maybe a 1080p option for 60 FPS. Possibly. You know, thinking about it now, I think that is what Rockstar will probably end up doing. I think skipping out on a 60 FPS option for a game in 2025 is bad enough, never mind a game in 2026. It's just kind of expected now. It's kind of the minimum that we expect. People like me just prefer the faster input response and the smoother picture that 60 and higher FPS offer, but that's just me. What do you guys think will happen regarding the graphics options? Clearly Rockstar have embraced the trend of giving different graphics options on the console, which is something that was really unheard of just a few years ago. But let me know what you guys think. In any case, I hope you enjoyed trailer 2 as much as I did, and I'll see you around, guys.
I got a doctor's appointment today.
So what did the doctor have to say?
A
Bitch, get the fuck out of my house.